What's going on YouTube? It is Texans Take over here, back with another video. In today's video, I have my top 25 prospects so far for the 2027 NFL Draft. Way too early for this, but from what I've analyzed so far, we'll go through my top 25. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. Tomorrow will be the first film review back. I'm between Noah Whittington and Fabechi Weewu, so I'll make that decision. I know some people want Noah Whittington. I'm just really intrigued to see the Wii U film. Um, so I guess y'all will see by the time this is out, or no, y'all won't see, but I'll have the video recorded by the time this is out of which one is coming out. But we'll start off with Jeremiah Smith, the wide receiver out of Ohio State. If you want to see what I said about him, I said that he's a true alpha receiver with rare size, body control, and ball skills. He consistently separates at all three levels and wins easily in contested situations. His ability after the catch adds another layer to his game, making him a constant explosive threat. Here he plays like a wide receiver one and shows very few weaknesses. Truly a generational prospect. So to touch on Smith, the reason why people are skeptical on Carnell Tate is because he's a wide receiver too, going at number 4 overall to the Tennessee Titans, and that's just because Jeremiah Smith is truly a generational prospect. You don't throw that around lightly. I think the last one we had might have been Andrew Luck. Some people might have said that Trevor Lawrence is generational. You know, I wouldn't agree nor disagree. I just let the debate settle down. But I think Andrew Luck is truly the last generational prospect we've had. Mendoza, we knew he was a surefire number 1 overall pick. That doesn't mean he's generational, you know? Like we knew no, I guess we didn't know Trayvon Walker. Who's the last one that we knew? Joe Burrow. We know he was going to go number 1 overall. That doesn't mean he was generational. But Jeremiah Smith, ever since he's come into college, has been the best wide receiver in college football, even as a true freshman. So, I mean, he's a generational prospect. I think he might go top 2. Um, you know, whoever lands the quarterback sweepstakes, whether they think it's Arch, whether they think it's Julian Sayin, maybe they think it's Dante Moore. All 3 guys on this list, you know, maybe they go with them at 1. But I mean, I think Jeremiah Smith should go number 1 overall. These rankings are not position objective or anything like that. It's who I think is the best player overall. So um, at number 2, we do have Colin Simmons. He is an explosive edge rusher with elite first step quickness and natural bend. He consistently creates pressure and flashes real pass rush upside with his speed to power conversion. His high motor runs hot, and he impacts both the pass and the run game. With continued development, he has top-tier defensive end player potential. The height and weight is a concern as a potential down a DPR guy, which is just a pass rush guy. But if anyone has the true athleticism to play all 3 downs, it's Simmons. Yeah, so 6'3", 240 might be alarming to some. He's so powerful. He's so quick. He's great in the run game too. That I could see him playing all 3 downs. I think he will in the NFL. I mean, if he gets 10 more pounds and keeps the athleticism, I don't think people would be too concerned with him playing all 3 downs. I think it's the height and weight that concerns some people because you see, I mean, Dylan Stewart's only 5 pounds heavier, but you see 6'5", 245, and you feel a little more secure. Damon Wilson down there, 6'4", 250. It looks a little bit better, you know? Um, but I mean, Colin Simmons is truly, truly such a good player. I'm an Aggie, so putting Texas 4 times in my top 10 was hard to do, but I did. And Colin Simmons is the first one here at number 2, and I think he's going to be. He reminds, not that he is Will Anderson, but the motor reminds me a lot of Will Anderson for Colin Simmons, and I just think he's truly, truly an incredible player. Here at number 3, we have Mr. Leonard Moore out of Notre Dame. Moore is a long, instinctive corner who thrives in coverage with strong ball skills. He stays in phase downfield and shows the ability to disrupt at the catch point consistently. His awareness and reaction time stand out on tape. He profiles as a true lockdown outside corner. All 3 guys, all 4 guys, to be honest, maybe even 5 or 6, have come into college and just absolutely dominated from the point they were there. Um, you know, best receiver in college football as a freshman, potentially the best edge in college football since he was a freshman, at least top 10, maybe top 5 as a freshman. Leonard Moore, arguably top 3 corner in college football as a freshman. Dylan Stewart, arguably a top 10 edge as a freshman. KJ Bolden, one of the best safeties in college football as a freshman. Cam Coleman, one of the most dynamic playmakers at the wide receiver position as a freshman. Ryan Williams, such a good player as a freshman. So, the guys near this top of the list have had production for so long, and this is truly one of the best classes I've analyzed ever. Um, I think 2024 was great. Um, to reference, I started since 2022. Um, I'm not that old, to be honest with you. So, analyzing the draft when I was, what was I, 14, 15 in 22? 15? Yeah, 15, I think. Yeah, 15 is when I started. Um, and this is probably the best draft class I've seen so far. Maybe 2024 sneaks in there, but I mean, this class is just truly insane. Leonard Moore is going to be a boundary corner in the league for a long, long time, and he's going to be one of the best. Um, you know, I just think he's incredible with really good footwork. But number four, we got Dylan Stewart, the edge out of South Carolina. Stewart has rare physical tools with elite length, burst, and power. He flashes dominant reps as a pass rusher and can overwhelm tackles with his athleticism. His consistency is still developing, but the ceiling is extremely high. When he puts it together, he looks like one of the best defenders in the country. It's the sack production that's a concern. I think he had 5 last year or the year prior. It's 8 and 5. I just can't remember which order it's in for Dylan Stewart. But like, there's some reps where it's like, oh, this dude's going number one overall. I don't care what quarterbacks in the draft. I don't care what other valuable positions in the draft. This dude puts it all together. He's going number one. It hasn't happened yet. Maybe it happens in the NFL rather than college. He's headed back to South Carolina, who has a decent roster because Lenore Sellers did stay there. Then Nick Harbor's back. And I believe they strengthened in the transfer portal as well. But I mean, Dylan Stewart's such an athletic freak, and I think he's going to do great things in the league as soon as he enters. At 5, we got KJ Bolden, the safety out of Georgia. Bolden is a versatile safety with excellent range and tackling ability. Plays fast downhill and shows strong instincts both in coverage and run support. His ability to move around the defense adds significant value. He looks like a complete modern defensive back. I think he could be a safety because he covers so well. I think he could be a nickel because he's so physical. I mean, KJ Bolden is the finished product at safety. Um, do I think he's a better prospect than Caleb Downs? No, not really. But do I think he's an incredible prospect at safety who is better than Thieneman, who a lot of people liked last year? Absolutely. I think he would have been a blue chip defensive prospect in the last draft. I think he's a blue chip prospect in this one. I just think the safety position is a little less valuable, so you could see him go around the 20s range. But I think he's an incredible player. We'll see how he does at Georgia this upcoming year. Then we got Cam Coleman at 6. I'm going to read these out of the top 10, the analysis, and then I'll just talk about the rest. But Coleman's a big body receiver who thrives in contested catch situations. He uses his size well and shows strong hands in traffic. His vertical ability makes him a dangerous downfield target with more refinement as a route runner. His ceiling is very high. I think the route running is good. I think he could reach another echelon if that makes sense for Cam Coleman. He's 6'3", 201, and you can use him in the slot, and you can have a lot of fun with him, but you can also use him as a jump ball threat on the outside. Cam Coleman's so fun. Probably my favorite prospect in this draft. I liked him a lot when he was at Auburn. I wish he would have stayed at Auburn because I just hate watching UT. But I mean, he's going to do a lot of great things at UT. Um, I think he's truly an incredible, incredible prospect. He's my favorite one to watch. He's just so fun. You can use him in a lot of different ways. You can use him in the slot. You can use him outside. You can use him underneath, intermediate, over the top. Fade balls. I think he excels in too. Um, so whatever you want to do with Cam Coleman, you'll be able to do, and I think he's going to be great for Texas, and I think he's going to be great in the NFL. And we'll see where he ends up going. But I have him as my wide receiver too, over someone like Ryan Williams, who I'll touch on later. But Jamari Johnson at 7. Johnson's a big athletic tight end who moves well for his size and presents a reliable target over the middle. His background as a former quarterback shows in his spatial awareness and ability to adjust the ball. To reach a ceiling, he needs to become more consistent as both a blocker and a high volume receiving option. This is just because they had Kenyon Sadiq. We'll see how he thrives as the tight end one at Oregon because Kenyon Sadiq was just a physical freak at tight end. Um, you had to play him when he was there, to be honest. But I think Jamari Johnson might be an even better prospect than Kenyon Sadiq. I love him. He's got the size to be a good blocker. He's got naturally good athleticism and good hands. Maybe you could touch up on the route running, but decent receiving threat. I think a decent enough blocker already. Um, and I just think it comes with having more snaps under his belt. And I think being the true number one option at tight end for Oregon is going to be shown in his production next year. So I think you're going to see a very more finished article for Jamari Johnson this upcoming season. The height and weight is super intriguing, and then the athleticism that he possesses is also intriguing with that receiving threat that he does possess. Third to last is Trevor Gooseby. And Gooseby has a massive frame with a natural length and strength. He shows flashes of dominant reps, especially in the run game. His pass protection continues to improve with experience. He has clear NFL caliber tools. The tape is good, but the measurables are what place him here at this spot. 6'7", 312. He's going to be a franchise left tackle. There's no doubt about it. Like Jordan Seaton, I think, is a very similar prospect to Will Campbell. Maybe has longer arms, though, so I don't think it's as much of a concern. But the height and weight, I think, is very similar to Will Campbell. Um, but yeah, Gooseby's incredible. I like the film for Gooseby a lot. And I think as time goes on, he'll continue to develop, and just become a very solid article as soon as he enters the league. And I think will be a starting left tackle for whatever team needs a left tackle, and he'll be that franchise left tackle for them moving forward. Kelvin Banks is a franchise left tackle already. I think Gooseby is going to be very similar to Banks in the fact that he's going to be a franchise left tackle as soon as he enters the league. Incredible player with incredible length, size, athleticism, and the tape is solid as well. So that's why I have him at number 8 as my first offensive tackle. Number 9, I have David Stone, the guy that can play 3 tech. He can play nose tackle, whatever you want him to, if it allows me to. Powerful interior defender who can disrupt both the pass and run game. He shows strong hand usage and leverage at the point of attack. Developing consistency will elevate him into a true dominant force inside. Good size and could be a 3 tech or nose tackle depending on scheme. So, for example, if my Texans were able to land David Stone and he was a 3 tech, I think he'd fit in perfectly right next to Cade McDonald. And that's your defensive line sorted. Obviously, that's being very greedy. I'm just putting it out there. Like, if you have a nose tech, David Stone's going to be great as a 3 tech. Do I think he has the size to be a nose tackle? Not yet. But I do think he has the prowess and the power in the run game to, line up over the center. I don't know if he'd be a 2 gap guy, but I think he'd be a very serviceable nose tackle. I think he's better as a 3 tech because he does have that pass rush prowess a little bit. Um, Incredible player, incredible prospect, and that's why he cracks the top 10. At 10, though, we do have our fourth UT guy in Arch Manning. And for him, I said prototypical size, arm talent, and pocket presence gives him franchise quarterback upside. Processes defense as well and shows natural accuracy, especially in structure. Has the ability to scramble, but a big part of his development will be avoiding pass rushers and expanding plays. Production was a bit hindered due to a lot of drops by Texas wideouts. Wasn't really his fault on those drops either. You look at the ball placement, it's perfect. UT receivers just weren't able to catch the ball for some reason. Um, but I mean, Arch Manning cracks the top 10 here at number 10. I think, excuse me, I think he could very well be the number 1 quarterback in this draft. I think he could be the number 1 overall pick in this draft, to be honest. We'll see how he produces at Texas this next season. What I want to do is get at least 75 to 100 prospects here before the year starts. Obviously, I have a lot of film to watch throughout the rest of this before the season does start to get 100 guys. Um, these are just the guys that really stood out to me the first glance of watching them. This is going to change a lot, don't get me wrong. I think Arch Manning has the ability to go number 1 overall, though. And I think he has everything you want in a quarterback, really. I don't know what a comp for him really would be. A bigger and better Bryce Young, maybe? Like, I don't know. We're like, I don't know. I struggle with the comp for Arch Manning because bigger and better Bryce Young is an incredible, incredible player. Maybe it's Caleb Williams. I have no idea. Bo Nix, maybe. I'll just y'all give me y'all's Arch Manning comps down in the comment section below. I don't know. But we got Ellis Robinson, Dante Moore, Seaton, Lacey, and Green from 11 to 15. 2 tackles in there, a corner, a quarterback, and a running back. This is my Texans hopeful headed into this season just because he's a running back. So the 14th best prospect at running back probably means you're in the 25 to 20 or to 32 range, and I'm hoping one of these backs fall. Ahmad Hardy's there too. I really like him. Isaac Brown cracked the top 25. Um, and then Ball from Florida is probably going to be here sometime soon. I really like him as a prospect. He might be 26, to be honest. But Caden Green's great. I think he could be a guard or a tackle in the NFL. Same with Seaton. Ahmad Hardy's going to be a productive back. Same with Lacey as soon as they enter the league. Dante Moore is going to be, potentially the second pick in the draft because he's a great quarterback. Went back to Oregon for his development. I thought he should have just gone to the Jets. Um, Chooses not to. It's whatever. Um, Not going to make decisions for him. Ellis Robinson's going to be a starting corner for someone in the league on the boundary. Footwork is so good, and really, really good in coverage. Probably has some of the best tape of anyone in this class. Ryan Williams, I have him down at 17. It's just the inconsistencies is the concern with Ryan Williams. He was better at 17 than he was at 19, in my opinion. Um, Obviously not the truth, but like the production's better at 17 years old than he was at 19. Fitting that he's 17th ranked, but I just think he needs more consistency to become the finished article. And we'll see what happens there with Ryan Williams. Julian Saint at 18, I think he reminds me of a smaller Stroud, just because of how accurate he is. I don't think he extends plays as well as Stroud though. So um, there's that. But accurate on the deep ball, accurate over the middle of the field, accurate underneath. He's going to be a very good quarterback in college. I don't know about the NFL though because of his size. Um, as I don't know why ads pop up on Google. But 19, we got Amari Washington. I think could be a nose tackle. Yeah, expanding his pass rush arsenal, but primarily a run defender. I don't know if he had a sack last year. If he did, it was one or two. Um, but not the most production in terms of sack numbers in college for Amari Washington. But I think with another year of development at Oregon, he could become a more finished prospect and crack the first round. But I really like the film on him. Tridez Green out of LSU. Athletic is the name for Tridez Green. And I think it's going to be a productive player in the NFL. Reminds me of a lot better prospect, but similar to Tanner Colgiel in terms of the receiving ability. More athletic, though, better blocker, can play the inline too if you really need him to. But he's going to be such a fun player in the NFL. I'm intrigued to see where he ends up. Jamari Sharp, another CB1 for someone. Um, Opposite of Ponzin was a CB2. So the same concern you had for Tate might be the same for um, Jamari Sharp, but I mean, he's going to have a year as CB1 at Indiana, and he was completely locked down last year, in my opinion. Got good size, got good length, got good athleticism, so he cracks the top 25 in a stat class here. So, if you're cracking the top 25 here, you're probably cracking maybe near the top 10 last year, in my opinion. Damon Wilson at edge, or Damon Wilson, excuse me, at edge at 22. Um, Transferred multiple times, but I think is a really explosive player. Um, he's just a really, really dominant player. Uh, Needs to use his hands a little bit more, but I think just that height, weight, speed combo he has right now is just winning in college. But obviously in the NFL, we don't know how that'll fare. Carter Smith at tackle at 23, just a technical phenom. And I think could kick inside at guard and be one of the best guards in the league. Might stick at right tackle as well and be one of the better right tackles in the league. I don't know about left tackle though. We'll see what the arm length and stuff like that is for all these. Obviously, that'll be added here. Isaac Brown, just explosive, incredible prospect just because of his ability to make plays. Not the biggest. Maybe if you get 10 pounds in there and he keeps the explosion, then you feel really good about him as a back. But I mean, he is so explosive and such a fun playmaker. And then Cade Piper, I thought, was the best Iowa offensive lineman last year in a class that had Logan Jones, Jennings Dunker. But he really stood out. He's just a physical. You want this to get to 315, 300 at least. And I think that's probably what I put. That will come by bulking up to the 300-pound plus mark. But physical, if you want a swarm guy, Cade Piper is definitely a swarm guy. I don't know if he'll go in the draft, but as of now, I have him technically as my guard one if all these guys stick at tackle. But gonna continue this all the way until we get down here into the 300s at least. So this is my draft guide so far. Gonna have RAS scores, 40s, all that for all these players as soon as they do run them in their pro days and the combine, all that stuff. My analysis is obviously going to change for them, but I'm going to continue this draft guide. If y'all want the link to the draft guide, once I start churning out more and more players, just let me know down in the comment section below. I don't know if I'd have to make it paid or not. I guess we'll see with how much time I put into it. But I do appreciate y'all for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll just continue to get to work on this. So thank y'all again for watching. And as always, it's Texans Takeover, and I'm out. Peace.